Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean, episode 21. So, I haven't recorded this for a bit. I took a little time after the last one, because the last couple episodes, I didn't really like that much. Like, notably so. Like, as in, like, they were the weakest episodes of this part so far. They were just disappointing to me. The entire stuff with this, the second prisoner, whose name I can't remember, and his automated, gross, weird as fuck stand, it's like, they were just so disappointing to me. I was hoping that this stand would be better than the old man and his dragons, but they weren't. And there's a point where things can get a little too weird even for JoJo. For a series called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, there's a point where it can get a little too bizarre, you know? Where it's too much. It's not funny, it's not entertaining, it's not good. And I feel like this part was like that. I don't think this stand was really that good at all. In fact, I'd say it's one of my least favorite stands in all of JoJo. And I wasn't having fun with those episodes. Plus, after FF already had a kill stolen, it looks like they're not exactly getting this kill either, because Poochie had to interrupt, and it's just like, Jesus. It's like, can we let FF, like, own the spotlight for once? Like, they're a great character, and I love them. But when you constantly either have someone else take their kills, like with Anasui and the dragon dude, or just don't even let them finish a fight and have to have someone interrupt them, it's like, you're just making them look bad. Let them finish a fight. Let them, succeed. Let them have a win. I mean, it's not happened as much and egregiously as Part 5 did this, with Giorno constantly stealing wins from other characters. But still. And like, comparing to Fugo, who never got a chance to shine, obviously FF is definitely much better than him, and handled much better than him. Fugo was terribly handled. Like, one of the worst handled characters, one of the worst written characters in all of JoJo. Like, as much as I praise this series and Araki for a lot of this, it's like, Fugo was so poorly written and handled. Araki just did not do well, and then eventually just completely dropped him from the series. So it's just like, what was the point? What was the point in having him there? You had a lot of potential, but you didn't do shit with it. At least FF is better than that. But still, I don't like having them have their kills stolen. I don't like it when anything does that. Because it's like, oh, there's this big fight where FF is having the highlights, and there's a point made as to not interfere with the fight. Like, that is actively said by Anasui. And then Anasui interferes with the fight in the end just because Jolene may be in trouble. And it comes across as just the fact that he finishes off the dragon dude, despite it not being his fight, feels so cheap and just terrible. FF deserved that win, and it should have ended with the electrocution. Having it continue past that was needless. It was completely needless, and it just, again, it hinders FF's character. Anasui did not need that. So, yeah, after the last 2 episodes, I was left feeling really disappointed. And so, I hadn't recorded for a while because of that. Because I was just not thrilled with that. So, I'm hoping that these last 4 episodes bring things back. That the last 4 episodes of this part, or of this batch of episodes, I should say, really return things back to the quality that part 6, that Stone Ocean, has had before. Because everything leading up to that was great. Basically, everything before FF had their kill stolen was great. In both the first batch and this batch. The first batch, I would say, was better. Just personally. But still. And I know we're getting our second batch at the beginning of December, which is a lot sooner than I was thinking. I was thinking like February. I knew it was going to happen before, is it March or May? Because the full DVD set with all of the episodes is coming out in either March or May. I cannot remember which one it is. I get those 2 months confused way too easily. But I was thinking because of that, the next batch would come out in like February. Maybe January if we were lucky. I was not thinking December, though. It's like, that caught me off guard. I mean, I'm not going to complain. But yeah. So that's going to be coming a lot sooner than we thought. Obviously, it'll be put in probably a different slot because this is going to be finished before then. And so there will be something else already taking in this spot. Well, actually, let me look at something here. Actually, no. I think after Stone Ocean is done, I think I'm just going to leave this slot to Dead End Season 2. Because that's going to be what's playing at that time. Or at this time. As of when this is being put up, Dead End should already be started, yeah. Yeah, Dead End is starting. Yeah, this is on the same day that Dead End starts, so yeah, that you're seeing this. But yeah. So, Dead End, after Stone Ocean, this batch ends, I'm just going to leave this slot to Dead End, cut it back down to 1 slot. And then batch 3 of Stone Ocean will just, like, whenever I can get another open slot, basically. No matter what slot it is. I'm not going to force it into a second position on a slot, though. But we'll cover that when we get to that. Either way, like I said, I'm really hoping that these last 4 episodes of this batch end up turning things back around. Because I was not thrilled with these past 2 episodes. But either way, we're going to get this started and find out. So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black, then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. This was better than the past 2 episodes, but I still have some issues here. So, first off, it's kind of split into 2 halves. The first half is FF versus Poochie, with the second half being Jolene and Anasui versus the Green Baby. And I found out the Green Baby's stand name is Green Green Grass of Home. It was like shown briefly in the mid-card, but I kind of missed it. I was a little too distracted at that moment. But, so, Green Green Grass of Home is apparently a song by Porter Wagoner. and was famously covered by Tom Jones. So that's interesting. I don't know the song offhand, though. So let me talk about my issues with this. And my issues are mostly within the first half, within the FF half. As I said in the reaction, JoJo has killed off characters, main characters, parts of the Joe Bros team, and everything in the past. It's almost kind of to be expected. And it happens with characters I like, especially, like Narancia, for example. Characters die. Likeable, friendly characters die. Araki is not afraid to kill off characters we like. And that there's nothing wrong with that. My issue, as I stated in the reaction, is how FF was handled prior to their death. The fight with Poochie and everything, and the way they did end up killing D&G is fine. That's fine. But it is the fact that they were not allowed to have a true victory in their real fight against Kenzo. Their victory being stolen by Anasui. It was because the fight with DNG wasn't really a fight. It wasn't really a fight, and I don't really count it. Meaning that FF's last fight was, again, stolen from them. The victory was stolen from them by Anasui, which makes FF look worse as a character. The fact that their last fight before their death was taken from them like that is terrible. It's not good writing. It makes them look weak. It makes them look kind of pathetic. And even though they went out and were able to take out DNG and everything, they were completely outclassed by Poochie and his ability with the discs and everything. And it's just like, FF really kind of got the shaft here. They really kind of got the shaft and were just completely fucked over in the writing. Like, at least with Narancia's death, Narancia got plenty of time to shine. Narancia got some fights in there where he won. And he never felt like he was shafted as a character. He always felt like he was a proper, well-written, well-built-up character who got some notable victories in there. And that's in part 5, the part where that's notorious for having Giorno steal people's kills. But in here, it's like, FF really didn't get as much time to shine. Like, they're a likable character, and, like, they were... It was cool to see them throughout what they did, but let's be honest, they really didn't get a big victory. Not as much of one that was, like, notable. Not like Jolene and Hermes have got. Like, honestly, Weather Report was better handled than this. And that's kind of sad. Because Weather Report hasn't been seen this entire batch of episodes. And FF is one of the main trio. I really don't like how Araki handled FF here. If FF had gotten the win against Kenzo, if FF had finished Kenzo off, I would have been fine with it. My issue would be completely gone. But it's because that they weren't allowed to, that Anasui had to steal the win there, That's what bothers me here. The fight against Poochie itself, like, was completely one-sided. FF really didn't stand much of a chance. Like, yeah, they had one big victory in being able to take out D&G, but again, that wasn't really part of a fight or anything. And it was just like, oh, they managed to actually do that. It didn't really seem to bother Poochie that much. And in the end, Poochie was still able to kill them very easily. It was so one-sided. And I mean, that helps build up the villain, sure. That makes Poochie more intimidating, yes. But it doesn't look good for FF, considering, again, they already weren't allowed to win a fight before. Like, if you're going to have FF lose here and be killed, like, good writing kind of mandates that they would have had a victory before this. And then the second half of the episode is Jolene and Anasui basically chasing after the green baby and discovering its stand power and how pretty damn OP it is. And eventually the stand baby becomes enamored with Jolene because they have the same birthmark. And so yeah, that's interesting. The green baby is like made from Dio's bone, but also the plant stuff, and it's like, so it's some kind of like hybrid thing, but it's all, I don't know if it's actually supposed to be Dio or not. Kind of just confused on that manner, but like, it was interesting. The second half of this episode was interesting, and the stand power was definitely pretty damn fun to watch. To see in action and to see its powers and everything. It's like, wow. Again, very OP. But yeah, overall, this episode still was not great for me. It was better than the last two, but it was still not great. And it's just, I don't know if the last 3 episodes are going to turn things around after this, but I'm kind of worried that they're not. Honestly, at this point, I think it's just, I like the first, I guess you could say, half of this batch, but the second half really let me down. And it really sucks, too, because it's like the entire first batch and the first half of this batch were fantastic. Like, really damn good. Like, as in, I was anticipating that this part could possibly even exceed part 4 as my favorite part of JoJo. But now, after this second half of the second batch, I'm not so sure about that anymore. It might beat out Golden Wind to become my second favorite part, but unless the third batch of episodes is that drastically good and that much drastically better than what we have had recently, I don't think it's going to beat out Diamond is Unbreakable as my favorite part of JoJo. Because, again, the past 2 episodes and now this episode have not been good. Basically, episodes 19 and on. 13 through 18 were great, for the most part. But 19 and on is where it kind of started to downfall, and pretty notably hard. And it's really disappointing, because there was one big fix that would have pretty much saved everything. And it's just like, ugh. Again, my issue's not with FF dying. Honestly, I'm okay with that because I kind of expect shit like that. I expect characters to die, characters we know and love and care about. I'm okay with that. I mean, it sucks that FF died, of course. And again, I liked FF, but that's not the issue. The issue is how FF was handled before that. And I'm not going to get over that at this point. I'm not. FF was handled poorly here. Again, if FF had won the fight against Kenzo, had been the one to finish off Kenzo, all would have been solved. There would be no issue with that. But that is such a big issue for me. Either way, tell me what you thought of this episode down in the comments below. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.